Hi everyone and welcome back to Up Next. My name is Carrie. I'm joined as usual by Kalen. We just sat down and listened to a bunch of music that came out over the weekend and we're going to talk about the albums that we're most excited about. How are you doing, Kalen?
I'm doing great.
I tried to bring the energy up at the end there. I kind of got lost.
That's all right. We're going through it. We're making it work.
Y'all know what time it is.
It's tax season. Whatever.
We've had a long tax sort of day.
Well, it's because whatever. We don't have to get into it.
No one cares.
My social security number is no.
We're here to talk about music.
Thank God.
A welcome reprieve, hopefully for you as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to just chat about some good stuff that came out this week.
Do you want me to get it kicked off?
Last weekend. I'll start with this album that came out last weekend. I'm talking about...
because you have one that came out earlier. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know the entire premise of the show is music that came out, yesterday, in theory. But this is an album that was actually recommended by someone in our comment section. It's the Anthill Kids with their album All Together Now. The name of this band really got my attention. And then that drew me further into the album.
Yeah, someone did comment on our most recent episode. I forgot who it was.
I'll put the comment here, though. Thank you, person.
We loved it.
Yeah, I love this sort of dark and gloomy kind of lo-fi bedroom folk stuff. But I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds kind of dull. But I really like the imagery and kind of off-kilter culty aspects going on here. It's cool.
It's got a sort of an edge to it. Something a little different about it.
Yeah, there's some real depth here.
That sounds like an album we'd like. It needs that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, parts of it remind me a little bit of the Dax Riggs album that he put out earlier this year.
Yep. The Dax Riggs album was great. I love that.
So you'll probably like this one too.
So intentionally just strange.
Yeah, really bizarro kind of dark folk stuff. Good.
For all the freaks out there.
And very lo-fi, fuzzy, 90s kind of
I love
sonic
that
aesthetic.
Shit. Yeah.
And visual direction too. It's all very Polaroid-y, which also Polaroids have a little creepy factor to them too.
That's true. Just the light about it, the way it develops.
Yeah.
Haunting.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Well, my first album, I've got kind of a theme going on with my picks this week. We're going birds. We're doing ornithology.
It's spring,
yeah. Isn't it?
Easter even.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Eggs, birds, chicks.
Eggs, birds, chicks, things of that nature. No. This album is called The Lone Wild Bird by Holshouser. This is really beautiful. It's not common that I hear the accordion in a project. And it's done so tastefully as this, and so beautifully as
really
this.
Nice.
This is all accordion. It's instrumental, and it's gorgeous.
I'll have to check this out too, because accordion is something that I often don't hear done fabulously.
But, I mean, it's done with spirit as part of a larger arrangement, but it often doesn't shine. It doesn't get a spotlight in the way that it does in this project, and it's really, really cool. And the way he's able to harmonize and layer the melodies and everything, it's really pretty. And he does all sorts of different rhythms and stuff, and it's just very colorful and peaceful. I guess you would call it folk music.
Yeah, and you said bird theme, so are there field recordings here? Is each song about a different type of bird? I don't know, I'm just thinking about different ways it could be bird themed.
How is it? I mean, there's a bird on the front cover.
That is so true. I do see the bird.
I wonder
if about one bird.
I wonder if
lone wild bird.
I wonder if he's the lone wild bird with his accordion.
Ooh.
And things.
The bird.
Yeah, it's cool. No, I don't know the story. Thanks for asking.
That's okay. I don't know.
But, yeah, it's
cool.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Are you ready for my next album?
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about The Hate Agents Leer at the Last Isle of Hope by Jinx and Lennon. This is a sort of Irish folk punk spoken word moment. So we have all of the lyrics are very storytelling and poetic.
Yes, yeah.
But when I say storytelling and poetic, I mean more in the vein of James Joyce. storytelling.
Oh, that's what I picture when you say like Irish storytelling.
Yeah. So it's more like slice of life and these like silly little
and very
like absurd vignettes.
Circuitous.
Yeah. A lot of like political commentary on here too. A lot of songs about Catholicism. A lot of songs about kind of the political situation overall happening. But then also some of that is channeled into songs like BMWs Don't Like Bikes, about how like BMW drivers don't like the bicyclists.
Yeah.
So we are balancing some heavier themes with a little bit of levity,
right?
And then some
like,
stuff that
those cheeky things that sort of other people, but that aren't like that's not like the problem.
Yeah. Or
if
maybe it's just like a microaggression.
Exactly, slightly more day-to-day examples. Yeah. Okay, cool.
There's some good stuff on here, and there's some really weird like solo production choices.
Okay, cool.
So there's a lot of like irresponsible drum machine use.
Irresponsible, as in
we're just throwing a drum track on there
in like on beat,
or sometimes where if you need a beat and it's just you making your solo album,
I see,
and you have access to like a drum machine.
Well, it sounds cool. It sounds like it has a ton of personality.
Yeah, there's a lot of personality and like layered vocal samples. It's very
so cool.
DIY and outsidery, and because he is like an aging punk guy, there's some songs that are about like cancel culture or whatever. So proceed with caution.
Go in with a grain of salt. That way.
With understanding
the generations.
But where there's more of like a class consciousness that I'm appreciating.
Exactly.
Here.
You need to transcend the
some of those takes that maybe you don't have to agree about.
The like online opinion.
The online opinion.
Right. The opinion of what happens on the internet is kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's more the class seeing what's in common.
Yeah. That's more what I'm bringing here, and then also just the weird, fun, quirky like instrumentals.
Oh
and
yeah, and just
all of it.
The fact that it is a cool.
And this guy has been around for a really, really long time and is very prolific as a songwriter, but this is my first time hearing about his stuff, so happy to check out more of what he has.
Hell yeah. I have a second album to talk about.
Yay!
It's more bird stuff. Surprise.
Oh, yeah, because you said earlier that you were doing like a bird theme.
Oh, so I got some birds.
Oh, so this one's also about birds. But do you know how this one is about birds too, or is it more?
Are you gonna grill me on like its relation to birds? Also, I think for the first one, for the Lone Wild Bird, I think that is the title of the artist's mother's favorite hymns.
Oh,
from the Southern Shape Note tradition.
Okay.
So it's some folk citation there. But also, why does the accordion sometimes sound like a bird? Anyway,
asking the real questions. You're on up next.
My second album is a Colloquy of Birds by Alison O'Donnell and Gayle Brogan. It was very cool. I would say it kind of sounds like a fairy tale.
Oh yes,
in a way.
Was that like neo folk kind
yes,
of
this one's also kind of folk related. Yeah, definitely more neo folk. Very, very strange and creative once again. All of these projects are very innovative, but it's very dramatic, almost chant-like. A lot of acoustic instruments and harp. Very nicely produced, and I would just say there is a sort of fairy tale aspect to its storytelling, which is really cool.
That happens with a lot of neo-folk stuff. It can be very dreamlike.
You throw a harp in it, and you just, what can I say?
And those, like, dense lyrics. Do you know if the lyrics are written on the Bandcamp page?
I'm gonna be honest, no, I'm not very familiar. This is my first impression, of the sound, so no.
Yes.
Tell me.
For sure. Well, no, I don't know either. Because whenever I'm...
You're asking me info.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. It says a collection of songs inspired by the folklore of birds.
Yeah, I don't see any lyrics on that page, so you're just going to have to listen real close.
You're just going to have to take it all in. But it's cool. I love this sort of, like, soundscapey and produced, and in that way it becomes psychedelic in a way, which is cool.
There's a lot of crossover with like neofolk and psychedelia as well, so that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering if I would recognize any of these bird folk tales.
Ooh, do you know a bird folk tale?
I do. I know an Irish bird tale.
Would you like to share with the class?
Yes.
Your Irish bird folk tale? Okay,
Yes.
I'm locked in.
So the birds all got together one day and they were going to decide which type of bird was the best bird of all. And so they were like, well, surely the bird who can like fly up the highest, I think, is the best, or the fastest or something. And so it's all types of birds. I got big birds, little birds. There's a little wren. Mm-hmm. Keep him in mind for later. So the birds are racing and they're talking about, you know, the mighty hawk is there and the eagle and all of it. Mm-hmm. And they're flying and racing, and the wren, the small bird, has tucked itself under one of the bird's wings, and so it was its wit that made it win.
I love that.
Yeah, and be the best bird of all. So
wow.
Sorry, that's my wren story.
The witty wren.
The witty wren, and he's the winner. That's not related to this album at all, but I hope you enjoyed the little story. Kalen, do you have a third and final album to talk about?
I do. This one is a really fun record if you want to really like bring up the energy. It's Glamours by My Son the Doctor. This is just like straightforward like party punk. It's really fun and high energy and loud and perfect for like your basement house show.
You said they're based out of New York, right?
Yeah, they're from Brooklyn. Yeah, it's great.
The home of party punk.
Gotta go.
Sure.
Go see 'em. I wanted to say this band, I mean this as a compliment, is like
lovingly.
Cheek Face if Cheek Face were like cooler and punker.
I know, I get that.
Yeah, there's some like just really
I think part
fun
of Cheek
lyrics.
Face is being that like loser rock too.
Yeah,
so you kind of own the vibe of it, and I get that too. If Cheek Face had a little more of an edge, but the talk sing, not really cake, but more like you said of a punk.
Yeah, they
origin.
do that sort of that like talk singy, but then it gets shoutier, and it's pretty dynamic and all over the place, and really.
And Cheek Face
really
is even punk sometimes in its lyricism and like what they talk about and stuff, and so there's crossover there too.
Yeah, Cheek Face they can rock.
Hang.
Cheek Face can hang. Rock,
Sure.
But this really comes out swinging in a way that Cheek Face rarely.
They're a little silly. They do a good metaphor, and I feel like a more punk approach would be like. Direct.
Would be like this.
Yeah, maybe more like this. My Son the Doctor.
My Son the Doctor. What a fun band name too. Love that.
I like it.
Do you have a third album? I know we chatted about one.
I like the new single from My Wife's an Angel. Their new album's coming out soon. I think the song is Everything is Just a Big Fucking Joke.
Yes.
And it's a banger.
Yeah.
Heard it live many a time, and highly recommend you check it out, and check out their album when it comes out soon. Friends of the pod, friends of the project. Kalen, what are you looking forward to this week?
What am I looking forward to this week? What a wonderful question. It always catches me off guard and unprepared. Let me see. Let me
not pulling up the calendar.
I'm excited for movie night on Thursday. We're going to do a little movie night here in Philly at the spot above Kung Fu Necktie.
I'm excited.
Just to go ahead and dox us. That's fine. That's our plans on Thursday night.
Oh my god.
If you're in Philadelphia on Thursday and want to hang out, that is where I will be. Carrie, what are you excited for?
Well, I can't wait to meet everyone at the movie. And I can't wait to get my taxes done.
I can't wait to get my taxes done. I have to drop my car off at some place on Wednesday. I don't want to do it. There's also a bunch of fun stuff happening like this weekend. We're seeing Yellow Nail Gun on Friday.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. The lineup is crazy. We already talked about it on the other podcast, but it's going to be Baby and
Morgan Garrett.
Also friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Love.
Awesome.
Great.
Well,
it's going to be a great
if
show.
You don't
Looking
see
forward
us
to that
there
too.
On Thursday, maybe you can see us at Yahweh Nail Gun. If you have tickets, I think it's sold out.
On
Friday.
Day.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Have a good week.
Have a great week. Bye.